This week on Pat Nash RAW, I speak into the emotional body and how we can surrender to the present moment in order to deal and react with those emotions in the right way. Here's a little sneak peek. You've made it through this situation before, but our body decides to act in a different way. Because as soon as you understand where these past traumas stem from, you can start making a change. How can I start weakening that neural connection and start strengthening a new one? Negative emotions will appear: sadness, anger, frustration, jealousy. I do believe mental health is downstream from physical health. At the end of the day, these reactions are not going to embrace the highest version of yourself. So this is where you need to create an action to work against that particular trauma. Hello and welcome to episode 19 of Pat Nash RAW, where I speak to the camera without any preconceived idea of what I'm going to say, nor a script to follow, just one chain of continuous, conscious thought from the thoughts that I've had, the emotions I've experienced, and the situations I've had to face throughout my week, all combined into one video. Now, something I would love to speak about today is the bodily surrender. The bodily surrender is something that comes when you are faced with a difficult situation or an emotion. Sometimes we allow our bodily emotions to take place, to overcome our psyche, to allow our body to make the decisions for us that wouldn't usually be a reaction that we tend to have toward that situation. This is usually from a deeply embedded trauma from the past. Now, there are neural associations that we've made with past traumatic events and the way our body tends to react to these situations. So, if something happens to us, in our mind, we know that, hey, this is okay. You're going to be fine. You've made it through this situation before. But our body decides to act in a different way. Our body tends to increase the blood flow. Our heart starts pumping. Our breath starts getting more and more shallow. Our body decides what these fear factors, depending on the situation, are and how it can react to them. This inevitably impedes on our mind and draws us to come to irrational conclusions. Usually a conclusion that has been spoken in a way that is not who you are. So then ask the question, how do you overcome this bodily reaction? There are a few steps. The first step is to recognize where this bodily reaction is coming from. To self-analyze yourself, not too deeply, but in a way that you can recognize your past traumas and start understanding where they stem from. Because as soon as you understand where these past traumas stem from, you can start making a change. And at the end of the day, we all want to make the most positive change we can to shift those negative outcomes, no matter what the life situation may be. We're all part of this human experience together, and if we can help one another to understand what those emotions are, the world will be a much better place. So once you understand what these reactions are and where they stem from, you can start working on them. Now, this comes into the neuroscience. It goes a bit deeper than the spiritual ideas of what it means to react in the present moment, to understand presence, which we'll get into. This is about neural association. So that reaction may stem from a reaction based on a particular thing that happened to you. And when you reacted in those past times, your body remembers. Your body remembers that emotion, that situation, and it doesn't forget. So this is where you need to create an action to work against that particular trauma. Let's say something has happened to you and it makes you react in a way that you know is not who you are now. You need to tell your body that it's okay now. And of course, this is going to take a while to make that connection between the body and mind. But start doing something else when that reaction appears. Start shifting the actions. Start observing your actions. Take a step back from the psyche. Look at yourself and wonder, what can I do differently to the last time? How can I start weakening that neural connection and start strengthening a new one? Like I said, this isn't going to happen overnight, but once you start to dismember those neural connections that seem to have a negative effect on you and start enforcing the new neural connections, which are just thin lines, and the more and more lines you add to this become a beautifully thick cable, a cable that recognizes this is how we react to a situation now. So that's the first step. The next step is to completely surrender to presence, the present moment. Understanding what the present moment is can go into a very deep understanding. It's something that a lot of people cannot grasp. And for a good reason. It's hard to step away from the past and the future, what can be. And for a lot of people, that's where fears, that's where negative mindsets, that's where scarcity appears. From a past understanding or a future worry. Now, it's not to say that you can't experience negative emotions. Negative emotions will appear: sadness, anger, frustration, jealousy. But it's about understanding that in this present moment, right now, you have a choice. You get to decide how you react to that feeling. And if you're going to allow that feeling to overcome you, and again, your body is probably working with that feeling. Emotions are actions in motion. And if you are taking on board these emotions and letting your body react in action, it's going to be a lot harder for you to take a step back and observe what those actions are. So this does take effort. But surrendering to these emotions, relieving yourselves of these weights, is so beneficial to understanding that in this present moment, in the power of now, you harness a power that is unlike anything, any other power, any other moment that can be experienced in the past or future. The eternal now. Once you understand the power of this very moment, the power that you have to choose, to make the right decisions, to steer you into the right direction toward that ultimate goal. Now, once again, a goal is a future endeavor. It's not necessarily in the present. But you can still be present with the understanding of the fact that you are going in the right direction to achieve that goal. Goals are very important. Goals are very important. We don't want to let go of our goals just to embrace the now. You don't want to suddenly become a sloth, embrace laziness. But if you are being lazy, be lazy. Be present with it. Don't allow the emotion of negativity to overcome you, that guilt. You're being lazy. You're laying on the couch thinking, oh man, I could be doing this, I could be doing that. Look, if you're being lazy, be fully present with it. That's why we see a lot of lazy people are usually the happiest. Because they understand what true presence means. Whether they can explain it or not is another story. So understanding how your body reacts to particular situations is downstream from how your mind reacts. I say this, but it can go in both directions. You know, this is something that can contradict itself quite easily. A thought can lead into an action, and the action can lead into your thoughts. But like mental health, I do believe mental health is downstream from physical health. So if we are to take good care of our bodies, there's a much higher chance that our minds are going to be able to compute and react in a much healthier way than what it would if the body wasn't being treated in a very good way. This is very basic understanding. Feeding your body with nutrition, getting out and getting some movement, embracing a high cardiovascular motion for at least 20 minutes a day, all imperative to living a fruitful life. Just keeping an eye on the time here. So, when you do decide to react based on an emotion that arises when something happens to you, you need to make sure that you can, one, understand what is happening. Understand that your body is making a reaction toward a past trauma. So by you understanding this, by you being able to take a step back and say, hey, that was a past version of me, you can finally make a step into a newer version of you, a version that can fully understand what is going on, to be able to take that step back, to be able to make new adjustments to how your body reacts. What actions are you going to take instead of the same actions that you had taken in the past? That could have been shutting yourself off from other people. That could have been embracing anger and shouting, blaming. At the end of the day, these reactions are not going to embrace the highest version of yourself. And ultimately, that's what we all want to do. We all want to embrace the best version of ourselves that we can possibly be. And that looks so different for everyone. For years, I've had this idea that the 35-year-old version of Pat will be the embodiment, the epitome of what it means to be a good person. And as soon as I turned 30, I created this hero, this person that I could look up to and strive toward becoming every single day, in every moment, with every decision, working toward becoming him. And understanding that presence is not in trying to strive to become that 35-year-old version of myself, but it's in every step. Presence is in every step that you take. It's not about the steps you've taken. It's not about the steps you are about to take. It's in the step you're walking right now. And like we've mentioned, as soon as you start worrying about the future or regretting the past, the present step suddenly loses the impact of power that it truly has upon who you are right now. And that's all that matters. Who you are right now. Okay, sure, you've done negative things in the past. Okay, yes, you may make bad decisions in the future. But how are they going to change the way you are showing up for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for your audience right now? There's a lot of power in presence. And no matter how much of the world you gain, if you sell your soul to the negativity of past and future, you'll never embrace true presence, the understanding of what it means to be a person, a soul, a consciousness right now. How will you surrender? How will you surrender to the weights that you've been carrying? How are you going to release these traumas? How are you going to release the very things that are holding you back right now? A negative friendship, a negative partnership. If we hold on to these weights, someday we'll have to pass them down to someone else. The power of now is about releasing those weights, letting them go. Because as soon as you do that, you will become the embodiment of your higher self. And you can start achieving the highest version of yourself right now. Presence is the key to living a fruitful life, no matter what anyone says. Now, of course, this is just a monologue without a script, and of course there are probably many questions that you have, so please don't be afraid to ask the questions in the comment section, and I'd love to talk through them to the best of my ability. Of course, this is my current understanding of what it means to understand bodily traumas and understanding how to end suffering through presence and an analysation of oneself. So for now, we're going to take 3 deep breaths with one another. Please join me in finding yourself in a comfortable seated position with a straight spine and your hands in either chin or Jnana Mudra. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. May we embrace the present moment no matter where we are, relieving ourselves of the worries of past and future, knowing that the codes they hold will no longer serve us in the strive toward the highest versions of ourselves. Exhale. Inhale. May we recognize that our bodies hold past traumas within the cells, the membranes, neurons in our mind, and that it will take time to reconnect, to create those new neural associations in understanding who we are and how we react to situations. Exhale. Inhale. May we be able to make these connections to relieve suffering, to release the weights that we no longer need to bear, to embrace the presence of now and understand our bodily reactions in making better decisions to react with kindness, love, regardless of our conditions. Exhale. Thank you all once again for joining me. I'm here in a beautiful little evergreen rainforest in the South Australian hills of Adelaide. It wasn't easy to come across this place, but I found it. And I just want to say I'm super grateful for anyone that does watch these videos. These truly are speaking from my heart and my current understanding of any topic that I cover. This is something that I'm getting better at week by week. I can feel it. I can feel the emotions. I can embrace the emotions that overcome me when I am speaking in front of the camera and speaking my truth just like this. Especially after those 3 breaths, I feel amazing. And I hope you do too. I hope there was something that you can take away from this today, and that if you do like these videos, please subscribe, give this video a like, and I hope you have the most beautiful week. You know, listening to our bodies is so imperative to becoming the best humans that we can be. Our souls need these moments. They need these moments of conflict to make us reflect. So don't see a negative situation as something to be afraid of. Embrace it. Condition yourself into becoming the best version of you, and that will rub off on anyone that you meet throughout your days. Always give a helping hand where you can and embrace the power of you, because you're amazing. Anyway, I hope you get out there. I hope you embrace and express yourself to the world in the best way you possibly can at this present moment. Enjoy the present. Go out there, play safe with one another, be kind to each other, and most of all, bless you all. Oh my God, I hope that was recording.